Adam Svensson sets PGA Tour record with sizzling 60 at 3M Open. Tournament highlights 2025. Golf fans, buckle up. Adam Svensson just produced one of those magical rounds that make the sport feel downright cinematic. The Canadian poured in a 48-foot eagle putt on his final hole to polish off an 11-under par 60 in Thursday's opening round of a 3M Open, instantly rewriting the tournament record book and seizing a two-shot cushion over Sam Stevens and Thorbjørn Olesen. For context, carding 60 in professional golf is rarer than a total solar eclipse. Only a handful of players even flirt with that number each season. Svensson's effort didn't merely break the 3M Open 7-year scoring mark. It also tied the TPC Twin Cities course record, a benchmark set by Paul Goydos back in 2017 on the PGA Tour Champion Circuit. But here's where it gets even juicier. His round now stands as the second lowest score posted on the PGA Tour in 2024, trailing only Jake Knapp's headline-grabbing 59 at the Cognizant Classic. Svensson's scorecard glittered with 9 birdies and 0 bogeys, a stress-free cruise that any weekend warrior can only dream about. He needed just 25 putts, draining long breakers from nearly every zip code in Blaine, Minnesota, including a 40-footer on the 11th and a 34-footer on the 4th. It was probably my best putting round ever, the 31-year-old said, sounding almost bemused by his own precision. And this is the part most people miss. Until today, Svensson's 2024 resume featured only a single top 25 finish in 21 starts, along with 11 missed cuts. One spectacular day doesn't erase months of frustration, but it sure reshapes the narrative in a hurry. Meanwhile, Sam Stevens floated with a legendary number of his own. Standing on the par 5 18th at 11 under, he calculated that an eagle would give him a 59. The risk? A daunting 246-yard shot over water. Opting for a perfectly struck 3-iron rather than a too-long 3-wood, Stevens came up short, splashing into the hazard and settling for bogey and a 62. Still, the finest round of his PGA Tour career. Some will call it a needless gamble, others applaud the go-for-broke mentality that keeps golf thrilling. Which side are you on? Thorbjørn Olesen's bogey-free 62 also put him 2 back, underscoring how receptive TPC Twin Cities played on Thursday. Low scores were everywhere. 64s, 65s, and a slew of mid-60s dotted the board. Yet Svensson's 60 was the clear headline, providing the kind of early week storyline television producers salivate over. Beyond the fireworks at the top, a cluster of recognizable names has its own drama brewing. Ricky Fowler, opening 67, and Emiliano Grillo, also 67s, hover among a pack of 18 players ranked between 60th and 80th in the FedEx Cup standings. They need a solid result this week to cement their tickets into the 70-man playoff opener in 2 weeks. Fowler, who started the tournament at number 63 in points, summed up the mission simply: good golf solves a lot of things. Veteran Patrick Rogers and major champion Gary Woodland maxed the 67s, while Keith Mitchell carded 68 and Cam Datas stumbled to a 71. Defending champion Jonathan Vegas signed for 68, and recent Open Championship contender Hao Zhong Lee posted a quiet 70. What makes Svensson's day even more remarkable is its contrast with his season-long inconsistency. Coming in, his lone tour victory remained the 2022 RSM Classic, and whispers about whether he could replicate that form had grown louder with every miscut. Thursday's performance silenced the doubters, at least temporarily, and reignited curiosity about his ceiling. Could this be a turning point that catapults him into the playoff picture, or will it prove to be another isolated spike in an otherwise uneven campaign? But here's where it gets controversial. Some analysts argue that ultra-low scores devalue par and diminish strategic nuance, while others insist they simply highlight extraordinary talent on a benign setup. Should tour officials toughen courses to preserve par as a meaningful metric, or is it unfair to penalize golfers for sublime shot making? Add in modern equipment distances, and there's plenty of room for debate. Thought-provoking questions for you. Was Stevens right to chase 59 at all costs, or should he have protected his score by laying up? Do single-round heroics like Svensson's mask deeper consistency issues, or are they evidence of a player finally peaking? And looking broader, does the PGA Tour need firmer setups to keep scoring in check, or are birdie fests exactly what fans crave? Drop your take, agree, disagree, or spin it a different way in the comments. The conversation around risk, reward, and record-setting golf is just as gripping as the action between the ropes. Adam Svensson 7-under thriller, making the cut at the 3M Open. From hero to struggle, Adam Svensson's dramatic 24-hour roller coaster at the 3M Open. What a difference a day makes in professional golf. After lighting up the course with an extraordinary performance on Thursday that included 8 birdies and an eagle, powered by what he described as the best putting of his career, Adam Svensson faced a completely different reality on Friday. The contrast couldn't have been more stark. His second round yielded just a single birdie, while he struggled with 3 bogeys and a costly double bogey on the par 4 second hole. His lone bright spot came at the challenging water-guarded par 5 18th, which he played midway through his round after starting on the 10th hole. But here's the silver lining. Despite the dramatic downturn, Svensson's combined score of 7 under par 135 proved sufficient to make the cut. He finds himself in distinguished company alongside fan favorite Ricky Fowler and U.S. Open champion Gary Woodland. Former champions Jonathan Vegas and Cameron Champ barely squeaked through, making the cut by just 1 stroke. The cut line at -5 proved too challenging for several notable players. Here's where it gets interesting. Former 3M Open champion Tony Finau headlines a surprising list of early exits, joined by Haotong Li, Webb Simpson, Keith Mitchell, Zach Johnson, Sahith Theegala, Siwoo Kim, Maverick McNeely, and defending champion Lee Hodges. In local news, North Oaks' own Frankie Capan III was forced to withdraw due to a wrist injury following a difficult first round of 78. The Minnesota connection continued with Carson Heron, son of Tim Heron, who showed promise but missed the cut with rounds of 72 and 70 while playing on a sponsor's exemption. Fargo's Tom Hoge struggled significantly, finishing last among those who completed play, while former Minnesota Golden Gopher Eric Van Rooyen improved on day 2 but still fell short of the weekend. The day's most impressive performance came from Sweden's Alex Noren, who fired a spectacular 9 under 62, featuring 9 birdies and an eagle, offset by just 2 bogeys. His remarkable round vaulted him 86 positions up the leaderboard into a tie for 8th. One of the more intriguing storylines centers around Sam Burns' presence at the tournament. Despite his lofty status as a 2023 Ryder Cup team member, ranking 21st in FedEx Cup standings and 22nd in world rankings, Burns chose to compete in Minnesota rather than rest. His explanation? A genuine appreciation for the course and tournament organization, particularly praising ProLink Sports Executive Vice President Tracy West's exceptional management. And speaking of rest, Thorbjørn Olesen offered an interesting perspective on family time versus tournament preparation. When asked if his extended break helped his game, he surprisingly admitted it didn't, though he valued the precious moments spent with his family in a beautiful island setting. What do you think about the dramatic contrast in Svensson's performance? Should top players like Burns feel obligated to support smaller tournaments? Share your thoughts in the comments. Adam Svensson's record-breaking 60 at 3M Open. Highlights and analysis. History was rewritten under the Minnesota sun. Adam Svensson just blazed a trail few thought possible. The Canadian golfer fired a sizzling 60 to match the 3M Open's course record, thanks to a clutch 48-foot eagle putt on the final hole that left even seasoned players in awe. For now, he's the solitary leader at 11 under par, but watch out, this tournament's leaderboard is about to get fierce. Svensson's Thursday dominance was nothing short of surgical. A bogey-free round with 9 birdies and that show-stopping eagle. Imagine parading for the course like a chess grandmaster. He's now part of an elite trio, tying Paul Goydos 2017 and Daniel Gale 2023 for the record. But here's the kicker. Goydos achieved his 60 back when the event was part of the Champions Tour, and Gale's came during a Monday qualifier before the 2023 tournament. So who's more impressive? The debate begins here. The real drama, though, lies in the chase. Samuel Stevens sits just 2 strokes behind. The margins are tighter than a Sunday playoff final. Chad Ramey trails by 3, Brendan Valdez by 4, and 4 others linger 5 shots back, all within striking distance of a collapse. What about the presumption-seeking stars? Take Ricky Fowler, a former star logging a recent resurgence. Max Homa, Mr. Consistency. Then there's Tony Finau, Mr. 2, whose name sounds like a playoff candidate but hasn't quite matched recent expectations. Wyndham Clark, Mr. 2, shows flickers of his major chasing form, while Dents and the +3/+4 struggles of Tom Hoge and Eric Van Rooyen remind us golf is gloriously unpredictable. But here's the controversy. Svensson, ranked 234th in the world, missed 11 cuts in 20 starts this season. Is this lightning in a bottle moment or a career-defining turnaround? The 31-year-old's sole PGA Tour victory came in 2022 at the RSM Classic, proving he's got grit and pedigree. Yet this season's missed cuts paint a picture of inconsistency. Can he sustain Thursday's genius over 4 days? That's the million-dollar question millions of golf fans will be asking. So what does Svensson's retrograde mean? It's a yelling in the storm moment for a player struggling to rekindle former flames. It's a wake-up call to sponsors, fans, and the golf hierarchy. Most importantly, it's a reminder that this sport thrives on parity. Anyone can don the hero's cloak. Can he hold the throne? Let us know. Should rankings reflect current form or career highlights? We'd love your take in the comments.